there's a lot of controversy with all the tariff threats going on between the US and Canada.
There's still going to be people that know that do need to go get help. There might be a smaller pool, but that just means you have to fight harder for the smaller pool. It just comes back to, again, being able to position yourself as the go-to place in your area.
All right, Neil, how's it going?
Doing great, Rick. Good to see you again.
Cool, cool. So I just want to say welcome to the Clinic Boss Show. And today we got special guest. We got Neil Trickett from Practice Promotion. So Neil, you're one of the biggest players with running marketing for physical therapy clinics. You know, how many websites are you guys managing right now, you think?
Oh, website wise, close to 500 websites and over 1,200 clinic locations that we're working for. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So 500 websites, 1,200 like clinic locations, right?
Yeah, and we work with anybody from, we got some solopreneurs that we help, and
Yeah.
then we really help a lot of the growing type clinics that have multiple providers, multiple locations. And our
Yeah.
largest client is we're helping over 130 plus location practice in the Northeast.
Wow.
So
And I'm
enterprise.
curious, what are multi-location practice owners, right? What are
Mhm.
they looking for in marketing that is different from like me just owning a single location?
Yeah, I think one thing to look at, no matter what size your clinic is, right? And you have to look at what's true to you, what your goal is going to be for your clinic. So some people have the big aspiration, I'm going to have many clinic locations, and that's their goal. And some others just want to have a really rocking single location practice with some providers, and be very happy with that. So it depends on what your goals are. But I would say at any stage, the key thing to look at with your marketing is what got you to this point won't necessarily get you to that next level.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I see commonly done is that practices grow. They work very hard on their operations, their billing and all these other things. And they're kind of putting in new systems to take themselves to that next level, but they don't necessarily look at their marketing, what they need to do there to take themselves to the next level. So you do need, what we see with clinics as they grow is they do need better systems, then they need better marketing processes to help them achieve those numbers that they want to hit, right? That's
So
just
is
the
it
way.
reporting then? Is that what you're saying, Neil? Like the multi-locations want better reporting?
Yeah, there's a lot more tracking and data that you need to do as you grow, right? And that's just across the board, operations, marketing, whatever. But
Yeah.
you need more data, you need more tracking. And so you need those systems in place to help you do that.
Yeah. And and also like with multi locations, right? They're also ranking. It's much more trickier to rank in all these different geographies, right? You know,
Mhm.
because you might have, like 10 different cities or 20 different towns, right? And so there's a complexity to ranking that as well. Like, would you say so versus having 20 different websites? You want to talk to me more
Absolutely.
about
So
that, Neil?
yeah, the way that Google looks at your business, right, and each location is as its own business. So it's like, if you market one business, you can dial things in there. But as soon as you start to go to two, three, four locations, you just have to realize that the way that Google starts to look at that is like each one of those locations is its own business. So you're right, the complexity goes up, and you need to have, again, the different tracking there. You need to have the ability each one of those levels to manage all their online
Yeah.
profiles and discoverability. So yeah, the complexity definitely goes up.
So without geeking out too much in the details, Neil, what like how if I had one website and I got like say 20 different cities, right? What is the overall strategy to rank maybe on search, right? On Google across these 20 cities? Like what's kind of the recipe that you've guys done over the years with these multi locations?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can't have one website, right? Of course, that's your main website. But the way to do it when you have more than one location is that the location pages become much more important. And so they need to have a lot of details in there, a lot of SEO structure,
Okay.
visual capabilities, things like that. Because what will happen is in those specific towns where you have that location page is what's going to rank up in Google. So it's not the main homepage, it's actually the location page that's going to rank in Google. And
Yeah.
so when you want that page to obviously rank in Google, that's number one. So you need to have enough information on there. But then when the prospect goes from their searching Google and they get to your website, that's the first page they're going to see is your location page. So you have to make that like your landing page or sales page, and have a lot of great visuals in there, tell your story, what's going to be in for them, direct them to explore your website so they can learn about their back, their neck, their knee, whatever it may be that's ailing them. And then that's the way that you really get people into
Okay.
your
Well,
business.
actually, this is interesting. So, like, if I had a website, then I would have a location, like a location drop down, right? You know, and
Mhm.
that's each of the locations would have the city that I want to rank for, right? Is that how you would structure it, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like that.
Okay. Okay. And because versus like if I was a single location, they would actually go to my homepage. They wouldn't go to a location page. And on the homepage, it's your best part of your website typically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing too, is that you want to do, you're going to rank for your main keyword. So let's say it's physiotherapy, right? For example, your
Yeah.
main service that you're providing. Well, you're going to want to, on your homepage, make that your main thing, right? So that people will show up if you have a single location practice.
Mm.
Um, but a lot of people don't like, people will search for physiotherapy and they're the ones that are looking for actual specific service and comparing you to a competitor, right? But a lot of people don't even really know who they should go see, or they're looking for free advice or help online. So you need to do condition based marketing, which is really deep pages on your website about back pain, knee pain, shoulder pain, all kinds of different conditions. Those will actually rank when someone's searching for how can I help my sciatica, right? Or how can I
Are
help
those
my
hard to
sprain?
rank because you're also competing with like some of the big pharmaceutical drug companies, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So the big ones like back pain,
Yeah.
that's going to be much more challenging to compete with because hospitals, orthopedic docs, gizmos and gadgets, all kinds of stuff there that you're competing against. But knees and shoulders, TMJ, like all these other, diagnoses that aren't as competitive, right? You can certainly rank for those. And the way that Google looks at it too is based on a more of a geographic local area. So it's very smart that way. And so if you're structuring your content on your website and specific pages, you can get those pages to rank pretty well. Obviously you need some technical expertise to make that happen, but you can do it. It's something that we see with our clients all the time. And that really just gets you in front of so many more people that are just searching in your area for free advice or help online. And now they discover your clinic where they wouldn't even thought about you before.
Yeah. No, that's fascinating. It's interesting how scientific, but also how complicated it could be with like search. Like there's so much different ways to kind of achieve the same goal.
Yeah. So again, what I suggest for clients is that, and again, this is about leveling up your systems in your business.
Yeah.
There, a lot of times we get started, we have a friend make our website for us, or we do something on Wix or Squarespace, and it looks
It wakes
nice.
a lot.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's functional, right? We can do okay as a solo provider, but now we need to scale up. We need more new patients for the providers that we hire,
Yeah.
and you keep going and going and going. There's bigger demand, right? You got to fuel the engine more. So, the complexity of your website will go up as the complexity of your business goes up. So
Yeah.
you do need to look for outside help at that point, specialists that know how to help you do all of this, right?
Yeah. And what would you say are the top keywords that you're seeing with like the top 500 websites that you kind of manage? Is it your typical physical therapy near me? And then, like you said, I think you mentioned some of these condition based words like, knee pain or shoulder pain or TMJ. Is that kind of like the bread and butter for, you would say, search right now, Neil?
Yeah, because you can go down a rabbit hole and just kind of try to go after every keyword possible. That's not a very good strategy. The strategy is to narrow it down to say like the top 5 to 10 keywords that you really want to go for, right? But you want to go for things that are gonna be what are commonly searched. So, if you're a right thumb specialist, there's not many people searching for right thumb help, right? So you want to have, back pain, knee pain, shoulders, the big ones that most people are searching for. Those are the ones that you typically want to rank for. And of course, your core service,
Yeah.
physiotherapy near me, those kind of things. And the SEO has evolved so much over the years. So what you think worked in the past in terms of, oh, I'll just, I have to stuff as many keywords
Yeah.
in my content as possible on my page. It doesn't work like that, and we actually get punished by Google for doing a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's evolved a lot. And today we've now got AEO, which is answer engine optimization. So whenever you search on Google now, you'll see Gemini and Claude. Um, the AI information popping at the top of search now, right? And so you can have structure on your website, such as frequently asked questions, things like that, that can actually, Google will scrape, they'll pull it into their AI engine, and then that's what's going to show up at the top of searches there too. So lots and lots of changes happening here with AI and everything over the
Yeah.
last couple of years. And I think that's just going to accelerate more.
What would you say the future of SEO is? I think you kind of dabble in that. I've been listening to a lot of different marketers, and they're calling SEOs like search everything optimization, because there's so many different platforms, whether it's like social media, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Google. Like everyone's still using search, and so it's almost like you have to optimize search across all these different platforms. Everyone hangs out very different. Like, where do you see SEO going in your world, specifically to physiotherapy and chiropractic clinics, right?
Yeah, I think it's very easy to get caught up in all the advancements in AI search, and we start to compare ourselves to other industries where that may be different. We have to really look at, we're a local service business, right, in our clinics, and so Google knows that that is a good chunk of their search volume. It's also how they make money off of their Google ads and things like that. So they're not like going to crush that anytime soon. I think what we're going to see is a continual evolvement of people getting questions answered through AI that might be, again, pulled from all kinds of different sources online, your website or blogs or social posts or things that you're putting out there. I think that will continue to evolve where those systems are pulling that information from. But we can still focus on that when people have a problem today, and I think into the near future, they're still going to be going to Google on their phones and typing in, you know, uh, back pain treatment near me or physiotherapist near me, for example. It's going to really prioritize the local searches up there for you because it knows that you're actually looking for a place or looking for some kind of service. So that will continue to happen. I do think that we have opportunities in our services to provide more content. The more content and expertise that we deliver out there into the online world, the more AI will scrape that up, and on these different platforms will become more visible in our areas.
Would you say that like content marketing still has to be the backbone of like your business? Because whether it's Google or like AI or ChatGPT, like they're all like neat information to read on. It's about you pumping out content across all the different like platforms.
I think content marketing as part of your business is still really critical. We're still dealing with humans on the other end of all of this, right? So you're trying to connect with people in your community that are, having pains or problems, or they're looking for enhanced, health, wellness, things like that. And so what we have in the middle is just how are they searching? How are they finding you?
Mm.
The more you can become the expert, the authority in your community for helping people with, say, musculoskeletal problems, that comes down to giving people useful advice, right? And the best way to do that is through content.
Mm.
Um, Video, of course, is very hot now. So, like your YouTube Shorts,
Oh,
and
geez, yeah.
stories and things like that, that you can be pumping out. It doesn't take much time. Where I see our top clients really performing, like our clients that are just absolutely crushing it, they do put more priority on the content that they get from in-house. And Rick, I know working with your clients too from the social media aspect, that there's clients that are really into gathering videos from within the clinic, telling the stories of their patient transformations, and the ones that put the effort into that, I typically see do much better in terms of the growth of their clinic.
Yeah, I think the content marketing and humanizing maybe some of your corporate brand with like social media, like that does wonders not only to attract patients but also attract like clinicians that you want to recruit, right?
Mhm.
So, Neil, what else would you say like your top 10% clinics are doing right now when it comes to marketing? Like where are people putting their marketing dollars to actually get new evals or new assessments?
Yeah, so I think from that regards, one thing that we've helped clinics a lot with, and our top 10% of clients are really doing, is they understand that still in today's world, your website is really the hub of a lot of your marketing efforts. And so they put a lot of attention and effort into that. They're pulling the like we talked about, the content, the video, the pictures, the stories, the success stories, and they're bringing that to us. We're helping them really put that within their website. So like WordPress newsletters, blogs, social posts that are going out there, but feeding back to your particular website. Um, Today, we also have a big hiring crunch, both in Canada and the US. So they're using marketing a lot more now to elevate the brand of their clinic and attract clinicians. We're also helping them with our market to hire system, which is pulling candidates actually into their website, putting a recruitment center within their website, which is working really well for a lot of our clients there. So I think the difference is there with our top clients, what they're doing is they're really looking at how they're using marketing and their systems and their processes within their clinic to create the brand of their clinic to attract new patients in and also to attract talent in that way.
Yeah, that's interesting because we've been talking this for a while. When it comes to marketing, like it's not just marketing to new patients, but it's also marketing to people that you want to hire. Do you want to maybe talk more about that, Neil? Like, on like how people are using um, an alternative Indeed right now, right? Maybe talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. So I think in business, sometimes we feel a little trapped when it comes to recruitment because we don't have many channels. And we kind of have gotten pigeonholed into thinking that we should just put an ad up on Indeed. That's where everybody's going to be. But the reality is that who are you really looking for? Right. And who are you trying to attract as a top clinician or office manager or front desk or whatever it may be that you're trying to attract? The best people are actually still working. They haven't quit their job or they haven't been fired. The people that are in those situations are actively super active on Indeed, right? What we're trying to find is we're trying to find the people who are maybe not that happy with their job and they're starting to look around, right? So yeah, they'll go to Indeed, but they'll also start to Google like the different clinics that are around them and what do they look like and what do they offer. So we want to get to that browsing crowd. That's what we're after. And like I said, they may not be active on Indeed. They might start to look on LinkedIn and those different areas there too. But if we can start to put ourselves out there a lot more, we're going to get in front of those people. And so one of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of is that there's actually Google Jobs. And it's sort of a seamless transition as you use Google, you don't even pay attention. So anytime you type in jobs or careers, anything related to that, Google actually flips its search to Google Jobs, but it looks very seamless, right? It looks like a regular search that comes up. And so whenever you type in, say, physiotherapy jobs near me, you're going to get the Google search that's applicable to jobs. So it's going to pull up job posts, and you'll actually see a lot of job posts up there from Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Snagajob, all these different job boards. They actually advertise on Google Jobs and put your stuff up there. So and then what happens is if the person does come across that, they're clicking on it, they're going to Indeed, and they're getting a very text heavy experience about your clinic. And plus, now they start to browse you against all other, people looking for candidates in the area. So what you can do is you can actually flip that a little bit. And what if you could use your website as the main center of that recruitment?
Mm.
So if you get your website job posts to actually rank up there in Google Jobs, now when someone sees you, right, they'll see you before they see that job ad on Indeed. They're going to click there. They're going to come into your website. And so on your website, you can have a very detailed careers page where you're actually showing all the cool things about your culture. You got videos, you got pictures, you're telling your mission, your stories,
Yeah.
benefits, mentorship programs, all this great stuff that you can offer to candidates coming in there. So it's a much deeper, better experience, and they're much more likely to, come on in and give your resume or whatever it may be. So
Well, yeah, totally. Like, if you compare it to like an Indeed job post, which is all text based, now you got, a custom page, landing page on your website that has what everything you want. That includes like videos, all the social stuff, and whatever stuff you want to put. So it's more branded, right?
yeah, absolutely. And so we have all of that. We rebuild their careers page within their website. And then we actually create a job posting center that has job post pages within it. They're specially structured to rank up in Google Jobs. And typically within about a week or so, we're able to get them ranking in the top three for, physiotherapy jobs in their particular town
And
or area.
what's the key word, Neil? Is it like physiotherapy jobs, like city? Like that's the keywords
Typically,
that
yeah.
you're kind of looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 typically that's going to be it because people aren't going to search, want to work within a certain geographic area. So
yeah.
yeah, so
Have
it's working
you?
really well. It's pretty brand new. We figured it out about third quarter of last year. We started testing it with some clients, and
Yeah.
we were pretty surprised at the results we were getting. One of our clients that has like 10 locations, they're always hiring, and with that process and the other stuff that they were doing, they were able to get 17 new hires in 2 months
Okay.
with that. So
What's
it helped supercharge what they were
what's the
already.
medium? What's the average? Like typically, is it? Are you seeing
Sure.
like guaranteed results, Neil, right now? Like with that process?
Yeah, so we have another client that we had that was pretty recent. He was a solo, not solo, probably a single location,
Hmm.
had multiple providers, and he was able to hire on two therapists within, again, about a month or two of
Okay.
putting that information up there. So
Okay. And
what they're
just so I
telling us
understand,
too
like,
is that,
so how it would work is like, like when I'm searching on Google saying physiotherapy job in Dallas, right? Then in essence, like this Google job board would show up, which actually has the Indeed job ad and your website like job ad, right?
Mhm.
Is
yeah,
that what you're
absolutely.
saying, Neil? Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
you'll
outranking the Indeed job ad, right? Which is
Yeah, so
both.
you'll see the top three there. What happens is the map section in your normal searches gets replaced with this like
Okay.
job widget, right? And you'll see, it might be like Indeed and ZipRecruiter and stuff like that. But what we're able to do is get those individual job posts on their website to rank up there. And typically they're outperforming Indeed or ZipRecruiter, so they'll be in those top three. And when they click on that, it pulls all the job description, benefits, salary, all that kind of stuff in there. So they see
Okay.
that in the Google search, and then they can click to apply on the website, and that takes them right into that particular
Okay.
job post on their website.
Cool. I'm curious, Neil, I don't know if you have this stat, but what percentage of people who actually are using Indeed versus this Google job board do you think?
Yeah,
If I'm a
I
physical
don't have
therapist.
any data on that. Like I said, it I don't think you can say one thing or the other, right? And it's
Okay.
just like in marketing, we all try to look for the one thing that's going to make a difference in our practice. And I think what we have to realize in today's world is that people are just all over the place in terms of where
Yeah.
they're consuming content.
They're doing it on
They're
social
searching their
media, they're doing
social, yeah.
Indeed, they're doing
So
job ads, they're going to the association, like they're going to like the events.
exactly. So if you're just looking for Google for all your candidates, that's not the best thing. If you're looking
Okay.
for all your candidates on Indeed, now you got to cast a wide net, right? So this is just a way to really supercharge
Yeah.
what you're doing. And we're seeing our clients, we still want them to use Indeed. We still want them to do their jobs there, but they're able to significantly reduce their ad spend on Indeed, right?
Yeah.
Um, and the other
But
thing that we
it's
can do too,
expensive.
yeah, it is expensive. They charge a lot, right? So the other thing too that we've been able to supercharge this with is once we get the organic part of it working right, and they're getting visibility to there, then we're able to supercharge that with Google Ads. And what's nice with Google Ads is that we can actually target where we want our job ads to show up. So I know in Canada we might have some clients that are a bit more rural, right? Or let's say they're up, in Edmonton and they're trying to pull physios from, there's not much of a pool in that local area. So, but they could use Google Ads to actually, show up in Calgary, for example, right?
Yeah.
Or Vancouver, so you can target with Google Ads where you want your job ads to show up and direct them right back to those specific career pages on your website. So that's the nice thing with ads. You can be a bit more specific. You can go around hospital systems, schools,
Yeah.
universities, all those kind of things that where your ads might be popping up in front of people.
Yeah, and then also, are you guys using retargeting ads? So these are ads on, these are ads. In essence, you're sending ads, whether it's on websites or on like social media, for people who's actually been to your career page, right? And just
Yeah.
follow them, saying, hey, like apply here, watch this video. We're amazing. You want to work with us.
Yeah, you can totally do all of that too. A lot comes down to budget, right? So how much
Yeah.
are you willing to spend to get a candidate in the door? So there's definitely retargeting options and stuff that you can do with that. But let's say you only want to spend say $500 or $800 on trying to get in front of candidates that way. You can actually just use your search function for that. But yeah, if you're a
I just
bigger
feel like
clinic,
retargeting ads are low hanging fruit because they're already familiar with your brand. They've been to your page. You're almost like reminding them, just like when you check out, just when you go to Amazon website and you actually don't check out, and then wherever you go, like Amazon reminds you, hey,
right?
finish your order. So this is the same thing. Finish applying for the job. Like you just follow them, whether you follow them for the next 2 weeks or maybe a month or 2 months. But I find that that's usually very cost effective compared to like spending like fresh money on Google ads, which is like fresh, like because
Mhm.
it's old leads, right? You're
Yeah,
retargeting warm leads that have been already pixeled, you could say, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then is there any way that you could use some of this technology to poach staff, Neil? I see this a lot with competitors where like they are LinkedIn or they're emailing, they're calling like clinicians at a competitor to bring them over. Like is there technology that makes that process more seamless?
I don't know if there's anything that's more seamless, but there's a lot of technology that you can use to be, instead of passive, just more active, right, in your
Yeah.
candidate searching, right? That's kind of what LinkedIn does to a certain extent. Is whoever's signs up on that at some point, if you match the criteria, you're going to get an email notification like, hey, a job posted up, new post up for you. So that's going to happen when you do Indeed. You
Mm.
can actually get emails to some extent too, and then you could do some cold outreach emails there too. That's something we might explore in the future.
Yeah.
um,
How would you get the emails? Is it just buying off the
you have to
associate?
buy them, yeah. And there's different
Is that effective or no? Like, do you see people doing that and getting results?
I it's funny because I'm a physical therapist here, still licensed in Florida, so I get text messages, I get emails about job openings, so that is happening.
People are doing this.
People are already doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it effective? Maybe for some people, right? But what you have to realize there is it's not going to be like you have 1,000 people email list. You might get one response out of something like
Yeah.
that to start off with, right? So it takes a lot of outreach to do that. But I would say first off, if you're not, again, what I see is that most practices, they really need to hire, and they do it very retroactively when someone leaves or in a pinch, and now they
Yeah.
start to think about recruiting. We have to
Always be hiring, always be recruiting, right?
gotta be, yeah, it's just the way, so even if you're happy, things are humming along, we know in business there's always going to be ups and downs, right? And so
Yeah.
you're going to have to, at some point in the future, you're going to have to replace somebody or expand and hire somebody. So
Yeah.
recruiting needs to be part of your thought process in your business. And there's a lot that you can do to elevate the brand of your clinic for recruiting and hiring. And I just see time and time again that most practice owners aren't putting much effort into their marketing and their branding to recruit. And
Yeah.
there's just a lot that you can do in that one spot alone that could change the normal things that you're doing for recruiting, just make them much more effective.
Yeah. How are you seeing practices using AI in their marketing right now? Like, what are things that owners like or practice owners should do with like using AI?
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, there's a ton of stuff happening AI within the operation side of things. Documentation's obviously the big thing that's happening there, but a lot of efficiencies across the front desk.
Yeah.
We're talking with companies that are using, especially here in the States, because of all the insurance headaches and everything and authorizations, AI to really sift through
Yeah.
authorizations there, optimization of schedules, online scheduling, all kinds of things like that. So there's a lot of AI usage, and
What
again,
about the marketing side? What do you
and
see happening? What's
on the
trending?
yeah, on the marketing side, it tends to be more around content,
Okay.
but there's so much. Like we have a whole we call them our AI ambassadors. So all our different departments, we actually have an AI ambassador, and every month they get together and they share what they're using AI for with
Okay.
clients and also within their area. So there's so many things that they're constantly doing. But from a practice level, a lot has to come around the content, right? So
Okay.
you can use AI to easily search SEO keywords and then use that to help write blogs or content on your website, give you ideas for, maybe a lecture or speech that you might do, that you could do live or webinars or workshops, things like that. So from a marketing perspective, you could use that in that regards, just mostly on the content side of things. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, no, I see. I think when I think about AI and how we use it, like it's become one of your best like marketing assistant. It's almost like having a marketing agency like 24/7 working with you. You just gotta need to know what type of questions to ask it and what you want from it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've and we're doing this for some of our clients too. We're experimenting with this. Is actually creating um, AI chat GPT that really knows the ins and outs of their practice. And so
Yeah.
we've done it for ourselves. So we've created a Neil GPT, which
Okay.
basically fed everything that I've ever written or whatever into this, and
So it's
it
a custom GPT, right?
yeah.
Right?
So
And
it
it just
speaks in
has like Neil's brain in there,
it's my
and it always
brain and
spit out.
inside AI. Yeah. So you can do this. Yeah. And so it spits out, just it starts to talk like me. It's great. And
Yeah.
so that's what you could do in your practice too. Is you could build your own GPT,
Yeah.
chat GPT, that's really about your voice, right? So everybody has the nuances of their clinics and the things that they particularly focus on, their philosophies and treatment. If you
Yeah.
can put that into your own GPT, it can spit back a lot of the great content that speaks in your voice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Something. Yeah. I think we did something very similarly. But yeah, what I see, what most people are doing right now with like AI is they're using AI to create, a social media posts, like content marketing, email marketing. It's almost like the copywriting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also with blogs, right? But the key is like, I don't know if you see any mistakes people made with AI, but I've seen some people where like because they created a blog using like AI, like it was this red flag on Google, and it actually like impacted their score, and it
Mm-hmm.
actually made their site less relevant because they didn't pass the authenticity or AI test, right?
Yeah, I would say that's the one caveat with AI where it's at right now is that you can't rely on it 100%. I'd say it gets you about 70% of the way
Yeah.
there. And then it's your job, the other 30% to, go back, rewrite some things, put little bit of your voice into it, right? So that's definitely the key with AI right now. So if you just copy and paste, yeah, you're going to get dinged. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah. And then the other thing I see people using AI for is like, is taking like a long like video clip. Maybe you do like a podcast or a video and you just feed it to some of these AI like video softwares where it'll identify what are like 30-second or 60-second clips that you could use for social media, right?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
like YouTube shorts. And it's very effective versus you listening to the entire thing and identify what are the best headlines or what are the juiciest clips in that 60 minute recorded video.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great way to do something once and be able to use it multiple times across
Yeah.
different ways, right? And same thing for like if you want to, of course, with permission and things like that. But video testimonials from patients. That's always a key thing. Is like how can we get more reviews? How can we get more testimonials out there? That's always one of the biggest things as far as content is just telling the stories from within the clinic. So you could use AI to basically, if you're talking with a patient, transcribe stuff, get their approval on it. You could use that within testimonials or maybe even video clips and stuff like that, and have multiple video clips stitched together for there's things like that that can be done for testimonials.
Yeah. And Neil, right now, there's a lot of controversy with all the tariff threats going on between the U.S. and Canada right now, and I know a lot of Canadians are fearful of like what's going to happen. I'm curious, um, what do you like um, what what would you recommend that they do, or whether they would spend their money, to generate like new patients very quickly in a short amount of time, right? If there's like, one of the big worries with, depending on what city you live in, like, there's going to be massive job losses happening within that like community you live in. Is there anything that you would recommend that they should work on that would help backfill, some of the losses?
That's really interesting. I hope it doesn't go there, right? I think we all hope that that doesn't happen. There's so much up. I think that's one of the things too. Is like there's a lot of uncertainty right now, right?
There's
And
a lot of
a
uncertainties.
lot of
It's cake.
uncertainty, and uncertainty is not good for the market. It's not good for people, right? But I would say, like, what can you be certain about, right? We could definitely be certain that people will always need our help, right? There's people going to be hurting themselves all the time, or getting older, and their bodies don't work like they used to. So, um, people there's still going to be a demand for services, right? The question is, how can you position your practice? And it comes back to basic business strategy, right? So if you make yourself look better than the next guy, people are going to want to come to you, right? And so if there are job losses in the communities, people are tighter with their money, there's still going to be people that know that do need to go get help. There might be a smaller pool, right, as people hold back from normal kind of elective stuff. Um, but that just means you have to fight harder for the smaller pool at that moment. And it just comes back to, again, being able to position yourself as the go-to place in your area, because people will go to those places that they think are the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And you will probably have to, during this time, you probably want to double down on marketing, which you
Yeah.
probably never needed before, right?
Yeah, I remember during COVID, right? I did a special. I think it's still up on our website, right? It's called like a emergency response curve. And so basically again, this is not my idea. This is from like Harvard or, some kind of like big think tank. But the basic premise is when there's some kind of emergency or some kind of crisis, something that happens, whether it's locally in your business or in your community or nationally, as we saw in COVID, the key thing is there's a big drop off, right? The businesses that retract and pull back heavily, they pull back in marketing, all those kind of things there, they have a much longer time to recover when things are recovering in the area versus the businesses that continue to promote themselves, keep
Mm.
top of mind. They have a much faster recovery time. So that can cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're worried about what's going on. You cut expenses significantly, especially in marketing. Your business will naturally shrink. And then it's going to take you a long time to get your name and things back up to where they were before. So I would just say that's something to think about too, is that, if you do see things happen in the economy, right, or in your community, the number one thing you don't want to do is pull back on your marketing.
No. I think there's other things you could cut, but I would double down on your marketing and do some of the stuff that you never had time to do. And obviously there's a lot of online marketing stuff you could do, and Neil's talked about that, but it's also getting back to do community and doctor marketing and all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which you never had the time to do because you're so busy, because you had a wait list, because of the shortage of physical therapists or chiropractors. But in some type of crisis, what you're going to find is, if you do this, and go back and look at COVID, I've seen businesses rebound like twice as fast than the ones that like was on defense for the entire like couple years, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You can't cut your way to prosperity, right? You have to, and I think this is just in general in business, right? If you are reactive versus proactive, it's a very hard business to operate. So if you're, and then again, this is what I'm talking about, like you leveling up overall, leveling up your marketing systems, your processes. If you keep thinking about doing that, you can expand your business, and you may not expand it as much as you could have because of the economic, thing that's happening in that particular time. But when the economy recovers a little bit, boom, you really accelerate, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I always hear people say, well, I don't need to spend money on marketing. I already have a wait list, right? Or I can't hire that physical therapist chiropractor. Here's the thing. You want that wait list. You want to grow that wait list, because if there is an economic uncertainty or something is happening within your community, like you still have like the demand, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You want
And
that
here's
hard
the
time
good
work.
news. Yeah. And here's the good news for the Canadians is that like if there is some type of crisis, it's very likely that there's going to be a lot of businesses like practices like shutting down or not be able to support like some of their staff, which means is if you actually had the demand and you had the marketing and you will be able to like hire like top talent or a top clinician working in your practice, right?
Yeah, totally.
And I saw that during COVID. So
Yep.
it's the exact same play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's
Always
like the
want.
have and the have nots.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a human behavior too. Like when things are good, we kind of sometimes rest on our laurels a little bit and we don't push
Yeah.
as hard, right? Except for when we're tested and things are really hard, then we're really, pushing ourselves and our business to adapt and change, right? So I do think that those businesses that have waiting lists now, fantastic. Don't stop marketing. Figure out how you can treat more of those patients, right? And now you can market to hire better, right? You got some
Yeah.
tips there on what you can do. If you're short staffed, right, you can work a bit more on marketing and recruiting.
Yeah. And the biggest takeaway should always be marketing and should always be recruiting,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Especially in the physical therapy or the chiropractic or the service like industry that we're in. You know, it's like supply and demand.
Totally. Yeah.
We're always at this influx, right? So,
Yeah.
so Neil, you just wrote this amazing book. I want to hear more about this book that you talked about and how people can get a copy of it, Neil.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's what we discussed a lot about today, which is our market to grow strategy. So within that's our market to grow, which is getting new patients, market to hire, which is helping you recruit, and market to profit, which is attracting higher paying patients, lowering your customer acquisition cost, all those great things there. So, it's a great book there. Also, we've got a kit that you can go out to for that. You just got to go to markettogrow.net. That's with the number 2. So market2grow.net. And you can get our free 38-page report on that and also video training. And then you can ask for the book that we'll send that to you for free too. So both in the US and Canada.
That's amazing. And then we'll put in the show notes below. And Neil, how long did it take you to write this book? Because it part is your life work put together in this book, right?
It's my life work. No, it's years and years of research and ongoing research that we do. That's one of the great things that I find is fascinating is pulling the information from all different clinics across Canada, across the US, and bringing that research back to our clients to make their stuff better. So a lot of that knowledge in there, and just what we've seen to work well over the years. And big thanks to Neil ChatGPT for helping me to also write it and help do that. So normally, and this is a nice thing, you can write your own book too. So back in the days where it used to take you months and months to write something, now you can do it within a few days, and put the information in there, get it out, but then keep revising it. So yeah, you can have all the download of me and Mr. Neil GPT.
Awesome. Neil, thanks for coming on the show.
Awesome. Thanks, Rick. It's always a pleasure.